Howdy ho!
Hello.
Welcome to the July 2nd entry of the Daily Stoic. Okay, July 2nd, on duty and circumstance. I'm looking forward to this one.
Okay.
I think it means like, what is my responsibility in a given situation? And like that in the situation might change what my responsibility is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it.
Well, let's see. Marcus Aurelius. Of course, he would be like all over these quotes on duty. It's like the Emperor Marcus. Marcus Aurelius says, "Never shirk the proper dispatch of your duty, no matter if you are freezing or hot, groggy or well rested, vilified or praised, not even if dying or pressed by other demands. Even dying is one of the most important assignments of life. And in this, as in all else, make the most of your resources to do well the duty at hand."
Yeah, like not to try to run away from the work that needs to be done. And that's here already. It's here. It's ready for us to get working on it. And that's how I'm seeing it. Like, hey, whatever shows up, that's the work that you need to do. And one day, death will show up, and that's the work we all need to do then.
So when you say whatever shows up, that's essentially the same thing as him saying freezing or hot, groggy or well rested, vilified or praised, dying, pressed by demands. So like any of that stuff is going to come across my desk, all of it will, and still I need to properly dispatch my duty.
Yeah, properly dispatch my booty. Properly dispatch my booty.
Yeah, twerk it.
Properly dispatch my duty. Yeah, so like, and now there's a conversation of what is the proper way of doing that, right? And it's ultimately like using the tools that are available to us to apply them to whatever the duty is that is in front of us.
I think when he's saying duty, it's like different than the situation. So he's saying like freezing or hot is the situation, but like my duty is always the same. Like my duty is to like
to deal with it. Do the work on that thing that's in front of us. That's the duty, right? So I'm saying, well, don't just go do the duty, because you might have to first plan a little bit, right? Like, hey, what tools do I need? How long is this going to take me? Is this the most important thing? Is that really the only thing in front of me? Or there are multiple duties in front of me and now I have to juggle them. So that needs to happen before like running into that, right? And then, okay, this is the number one priority. Which tools, which emotions, which all of these things am I using to get this thing done? And that's my duty to organize it and go do that. And that's what I was referring to, like, go do your duty to do that thing.
And how I'm hearing like what you're saying is like the duty is like a mission almost. It's like this thing that needs to go like be dealt with or figured out or accomplished or something.
Yeah, because something is always on our desk, right?
Right.
To process. Yeah.
I guess I'm just like looking at duty a little bit differently here, where it's not like a thing that needs to happen that I need to be like measured and planned and like use a lot of like my mental space to like figure out like, do I don't know. I'm just like thinking back to like yesterday's entry where he's talking about like my duty is to be good. So it's like no matter if I'm freezing or hot, groggy or well rested, vilified or praised, like my responsibility in that time is to like be calm, and then when we were like, okay, well, what is good, and then maybe we arrived at calmness.
Responding calmly to it.
Right, and so it's like that's how I'm interpreting that duty in this particular context. Yes. And I also see the duty that you're talking about too, which is like, well, in any of these cases, like now I need to handle it in a certain way.
And then when I say picking up tools, I mean picking up calmness, let's say, as a tool, and then now go deal with the thing that is in front of me that needs to be dealt with. In which way do I deal with it? Well, with this calm way, or if I can choose, then calm way. If I cannot choose, then I guess whatever shows up, whatever tool is available at the time, right? But deal with it. Yeah.
You mean if I can choose, like if I have the awareness in that moment?
Yes.
Okay. Because like theoretically, it is always a choice.
Theoretically, it's always a choice, but is it really
realistically am I aware of it
to actually take it and actually choose to go use it, and it's actually working? You know how to use it, right? Because just having a tool is not necessarily. That's just a half the thing, right? Having the tool is important, but using the tool is the most important, right? Like I can have a guitar, but if I don't know how to play it, it ain't gonna do much.
Yeah, you could have a welding machine, but if you're not using it, we don't got a nice sweet ass fence over there.
Or something. Yeah. But we do have a welder. Yeah, exactly, precisely.
You ready to read Ryan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he says, will this make me rich? Will people be impressed? How hard do I need to try? How long will this take? What's in it for me? Should I do this other thing instead? These are the questions we ask ourselves amid the day's opportunities and obligations. Marcus Aurelius had many responsibilities, as those who hold executive power do. He judged cases, heard appeals, sent troops into battle, appointed administrators, approved budgets. A lot rode on his choices and actions. Should he do this or that? What about this concern or that concern? When would he get to enjoy himself? The simple reminder above was a way to cut through the Gordian knot of incentives, complaints, fears, and competing interests. It's what we must use to decide what to do in each and every phase of life. Morality can be complicated, but the right thing is usually clear and intuitive enough to feel in our gut. Our duty is rarely easy, but it is important. It's also usually the harder choice, but we must do it.
Yeah, and sometimes it's also like maybe we don't know what the choice is. But during the same time, we do know that, because we might say, oh, there are all these choices.
In what situation are you talking about?
Any situation.
Like choices about what to do next?
Yes.
Okay.
Like what to do with this thing, whatever shows up, right? And then like, what do I do with it? Well, I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this, and I can do this. And then now I go like, well, which one do I actually choose? And there is another tool to use for that, to say, well, which one is the one that I really don't want to do? Because it's like hard, and it's like, I don't want to do it. Oh, that's just going to be pain in the ass. We can use that for selecting the one that we actually should be doing.
Well, and he's also saying, like, usually it's just obvious to us at a gut level what the right thing to do is.
Yes. And that's what I'm actually referring to. We might feel in the gut level that this is the right thing, but then that's followed with, yeah, but it's so hard. I can't do that. No. Like, I know that would be ideally that would be the most best thing to do, but this is not the ideal, so I need to go do something else. I'm going to go this way, right? And that's what I'm saying, like, oh, this is the thing that gut feeling tells you to do it, and you say, but this is hard. That combination that's the answer. That's the way to go, right?
Right.
And so I'm saying using the oh, well, that's hard. That one is hard. Like that's the reverse tool
Yeah.
of using it to identify the things that
if you
to
don't know
do.
what's right, maybe because there's
That's
other
how
things that are hard.
Yeah,
that,
if you notice, I started with it.
Yeah,
if you don't know what to do, it's if you have a gut feeling and you say this is what needs to happen, and
this is the right
and
thing.
then this is the right thing, and maybe it doesn't feel like that's the hard thing, or it's like yeah, they will be difficult, but it is the right thing. I'm okay with that. Then yes, go. That's it. That is the answer. I'm saying if you don't know what to do, and now you're like, well, I could, or this might feel like it's this all over the place. Kind of, it's hard to choose. We can flip it on its head and say, what don't I want to do out of these? Because it seems so hard. Ah, that one. Okay, so is that the one that I should be doing? Oh, and then you start digging in there, and then now all of a sudden they can crystallize into, oh, that is what I should be doing. Now I have this gut feeling, even though it's the hard thing. I gotta go do that. That's how I'm saying. Like there's two different ways to get to help you choose.
Yeah.
You know, it won't choose well. You might still make a mistake with that choice, but you still somehow involving these tools and mechanisms to help you make that decision to which one it is, because otherwise we stay in this limbo of there's 6 choices, I just don't know, so I'm just gonna go do something else right now, right? Like it's hard to pick, so I don't want to pick and make a mistake, right? So I'm gonna kind of not pick right now, right? Not gonna do my duty right now about this thing. I'm gonna go do something else. Like we make excuses because there's so many choices and we don't know what to choose. And so that's what I'm hinting on. Like there are these tools, how to recognize the things that can help us choose, and not say shrug our shoulders and say, "Oh, too many options. I don't know which one."
Sure. Yeah. And so like the combination of something being the right thing to do and also being the hard thing to do is like that is the definition of courage. Courage is doing the right thing even though it's hard.
Hard thing, yeah.
And so this is like telling me like it's another confirmation of cultivating that and cultivating that as its own habit and its own thing, like its own like kind of characteristic or personality trait in my system.
Yeah, that's good. Anything else you have on this guy?
Not for me. What about you?
No.
All right.
This was great.
Nicely done. Alrighty, my friend. Thank you for joining us today, and let us know how you're doing in the comments below, and we will see you here tomorrow.